here is my poor car in the light of day. It's a good effort on my part, but there's a tractor, maybe he can help. Oh my god, it's actually got, the back wheel is actually off the floor, Bill.
It's too heavy for one person to lift.
You are probably wondering how on earth I managed to drive my car into that concrete hole, ditch, whatever it was. So the story is that, as you can see, I went to another festa. It was in the middle of nowhere because it was a celebration of another saint where there is this small chapel that is built literally in the middle of nowhere. And because of this, there is no street lighting or anything like that. And everybody was parking their cars out in the field. And so where I parked was up on a bit of a hill, but on a flat surface and near to this like small building. And as I drove the car into the space, I actually saw that big hole and said to my friend, oh, look at that big hole. We mustn't forget that that is there when we leave. And so yeah, we went to listen to the music, and actually we only stayed there for about an hour and a half. Neither of us had anything to drink, not even water. I didn't even have one beer. And we decided that we had seen enough and that we were ready to leave. So yeah, when we left, it was, well, when we arrived, it was pitch black. When we left, so we left and we got into the car and we were chatting and saying, yeah, how good the music was. And we just, yeah, I just drove to the end of the place where I was parked and looked at which way to go. And yeah, we came in from the right, so I decided to go to the right, and literally as I turned to go to the right, of course I couldn't see that big hole because the driver, I'm on the left-hand side of the vehicle here. And so I literally didn't see it and just, yeah, drove straight into it. But I knew as soon as I had done it, what I had done. And so, yeah, I was more concerned really about how we were going to get home, because there was no way, as you could see from the video, that I was going to be driving my car out of that hole. Yeah, so fortunately, my friend's husband saw the message from us for rescue and he came out to pick us up. And yeah, then I was quite anxious about how I was going to get the car rescued, and more worried that the car was going to end up being damaged as it was rescued, because actually it didn't look like there was any damage to the car at all, but there was literally about 2 millimeters from the bottom of the car and the ground underneath it once the front wheel had like fallen into that hole. And so the way it worked out is that I realized or remembered that I know someone who is a mechanic. And so I decided to ask for his help. Unfortunately, he was away until Sunday afternoon. Sunday afternoon. However, the festa was still going on, the celebration, the religious ceremony was going on the Sunday all day. And so there was no way that we could rescue the car on a Sunday with all the other cars there and everything. And so we made a plan to go there on the Monday morning. And the video that you saw was me going back there on the Sunday morning with my friend to make a video so that I could then send it to my mechanic friend. So we went there early on the Monday morning, and the way he got it out, because I'm sure you're probably interested, he jacked up the side of the car where the front wheel, where the front wheel it was in the hole, because the rear back wheel on the opposite side was way off the ground. So he needed to get both the rear wheels onto the ground. So what happened when he jacked up the car there was then that the whole car like slid to the left as the back wheel came to the ground, and the other front wheel then semi went into the hole, so half and half. So that was a little bit scary, I have to say. Yeah, I don't know what I thought was going to happen, but I just saw my car sliding to the left. So then he put some planks of wood underneath the new front wheel that had gone into, kind of gone into the hole, so that he had something to drive on. And he drove the car forwards. I was amazed that by driving the car forwards like really slowly, that other wheel actually managed to kind of drive up and over that concrete edge. I was amazed. I was amazed and I was elated at the same time. It was such a good moment. And he checked underneath the car and everything seemed to look fine. I just got like this small kind of scrape on the underneath of the plastic, but nothing. And then, of course, the car was then straddling the whole of that ditch. So he laid like a metal scaffold platform over the ditch and drove so that, yeah, he could drive then forwards and straight off of the ditch. And literally, he managed to do this in about 20 minutes. And so I had had all this anxiousness and worry about how it was going to be, how I was going to get it out of this hole. And I just felt, I don't know, embarrassed by the whole situation, and I could feel myself saying to myself, like, how stupid was I to do that? But then remembering that, it was an accident, things happen. I just couldn't see it. It was pitch black and it's all ended up perfectly okay. Neither my friend or I were hurt when it happened. I mean, I had some concerns that we may have got some whiplash, because when the car dropped into that hole, if you can imagine, we were just going slowly forwards and then suddenly it kind of dropped in the hole. So we were jarred forward. And although it wasn't enough for any airbags to deploy or anything like that, but the back seats of my car fell down at the same time. But yeah, so anyway, we're okay, the car's okay, and that is the story. Yeah.
I've just realised that this is something that is done on a Sunday, because this is not the first time I have seen flowers laid out on the road here. I'm actually now thinking this is not done every Sunday. This is another one down the road, and it is done on a Saint's Day. So the festa that I went to last night was for the Nossa Senhora da Zenia, And so I believe that the flowers are significant because it's a celebration of a saint's day today. And we have beautiful blue skies here. It's feeling quite warm already. At night now here, the temperature drops by a good like 15 degrees. So at night now it's only like 9 degrees at night. Very, very fresh, which is nice. Makes sleeping much nicer. But during the day it's still warm. It did drop a bit to like mid-20s, but it's going up again in the next few days to the 30 again. But at least there's some relief in the mornings and in the evenings now.
Today I am going to do a very messy job. I am going to remove the plaster, the render, and all the clay and the straw that's in this bit up here above the doorway. So I have my mask, I have my gloves, all my hammers. So yeah, this is going to be, well, it's quite nice smashing things up, but a bit dirty to be fair. I'm just giving you a close-up look of how this wall has been made. So these are tiles that they've, I can probably get out. Oh, these are tiles that they have just, put in here to hold all this in between the clay and the straw to pad the wall out. On top of the stone before they've then rendered on the top of it. And this is what I'm removing here so that this wall goes back to the natural stone. This is what's fallen out from up above. This is how the stonework above the doorway is coming along, and you can see that there's this beautiful, this is one piece of rock, stone lintel that's above the doorway, and then the smaller rocks are above it. It doesn't look like in the house at the moment because it's not been cleaned up. I just need to give it a wash, and then the stones are going to look a lot nicer. On this side piece of wall, because of the layers, I'm having to chip off
like this part here, you can see here, because I think they rendered straight onto the stone first and then painted over it, and then like on here it's easier because they then, I don't know, did something a bit different. So that bit's easy, but then you've got all this paint just like here, which I found the easiest way to chip it off the stone is to just use this hammer like this. This morning I am turning my attention to the big wall behind me that I just want to repaint, but it has all the old paint on it, like the old fireplace, and so I'm going to need to scrape it all off first. The paint comes off really easily here, so I'm hoping I can do this job quite quickly. I've decided to take this workbench that was made by the builders apart because I have other tables that I can use for doing things on, and it's just getting in the way now. So I am going to dismantle it. I've given this stone a bit of a wash, and you can now see behind it the stone is like I have in the house. I think ultimately I'm going to end up needing to wash this with the hose, which has got a good pressure on it, to wash it off well. I think it's going to take too long to do it by hand, but it is a very, very messy job, and I would want to, yeah, just cover, I don't know, get everything out the way before doing it. So I think the plan is to strip all the rest of the render off of this wall here and finish stripping the paint off of this wall here before I do that washing job. And I've also started, well, as I showed you earlier, the sides of the walls here. I still have to finish this top part, but I have, yeah, taken the render off the top side of the walls, and ooh, I'm just going to shut, that's okay. And
this side here as well. So this side here you can actually see pretty well now the stone. I need to do the top bit here, which I haven't done yet. So let me zoom out. And well, it's a bit of a mess at the moment, but if you can imagine that this is all going to be a natural stone wall, the same as in my house. I am down in the back field and I thought at last I would make a start on my pathway. I don't have much wood chips at the moment, so I'm just going to do like a test a bit to to put my theory into practice about what I want to do. So I've just got some cardboard, some rocks and the wood chips, and I'm just going to start here because this really is the entrance kind of way, and where I've been walking during the summer the pathway has kind of made itself known, so I want to do this job before all of this starts growing again once the rains come. It's not helping, Bezos. This is not helpful, Bezos. This is not helpful. This is not helpful. Game, huh? These here coming. Bezos. No. I've just put these rocks along the bottom here just so that when I put these wood chips on they don't all fall off the end. So this is the concept of the pathway. It looks actually really nice. However,
That is one bag, and I have a lot of field to run a pathway all around and through. I am also wondering how it's going to fare with the dog and the cat, whether they're going to take to liking to scurry in this, and when the rains do calm. So I'm thinking maybe I should also wet it. I think that might be a bit of a deterrent and help it to stay in place rather than get kicked around all over the place. And maybe the rest of it, I think I should leave until the rains actually start to come. I think that is going to be a better plan. But at least I know what resources I need to find to do this, because also I need a lot of rocks. And although there's a lot of rocks around, I need to go and collect them all up. So that's going to take some time to do as well. The saying, the cat on the mat, is very true. I'm not sure why that is comfortable because it's quite prickly, that mat. But Bejo seems to like it.